Hi everyone. Today we're going to focus on walking on leash without pulling. One of the best things about having a dog is being able to take them out and about and walking with them, but it's never any fun if they are pulling you from here to kingdom come, lunging at other dogs or people, or wanting to go sniff mailboxes and lift their leg, whatever it is that they do as you go out for your walk. We're going to stop that from happening. And we're going to implement a rule that simply says we are not going to allow them to pull on leash. So I have my leash here. It's a 6-foot lead, and I've got Leo on my martingale collar. I'm going to go out into the yard and I'm going to show you a little game. The game that I'm going to show you is called a sneak away. And it's an attention-getting game that teaches your dog that it's beneficial to stay around you without pulling. In this game, you're going to take your thumb, put it through the loop of the leash, you're going to gather up the slack, and you're going to anchor it at your waist. And I'm going to show you how to do this when I flip the video in just a second. But you're going to keep your arms anchored at your waist. You're going to remember that no matter what size dog you have, all of your power is in your core section here. If you are trying to walk your dog and you're pulling on your leash, you don't have a lot of strength in your arms, and it can really throw you off balance. So you always want to walk your dog in a confident position where you're standing up straight, your leash is anchored to your midsection, and you walk with a purpose. So today, as I go out into the yard, what's going to happen is the second Leo becomes distracted, and I hope he does, I am going to head the opposite direction of where he wants to go. So I'm sending a message to him. He wants to go one way, whether that's to sniff the ground or do whatever. I'm going to say, no, I'm in charge, and I'm going to simply turn the other direction. Now, when I turn, he is going to feel a tug on that collar, and he will have no choice but to kind of run up and catch up with me again. It becomes a little bit of a game. I try to make it fun. But I also don't do a lot of talking when I do this. It is kind of a silent exercise. The only time that I talk is when I'm praising. And you can praise with a smile, or you can praise with your words, but please don't praise with your hands, because if you are touching your dog, you are kind of defeating some of the purpose of the game. With this game, they're making decisions to stay near you. And touching kind of throws that out the door. So I will show you how we do this. Alrighty. I'm hoping that you can see me. I've got Leo on my 6-foot lead here, and I've got the thumb through the loop of the leash. I'm gathering up the slack, and I'm going to anchor it here at my stomach, standing confidently. Now, as soon as he becomes distracted, and he has already trained in this, so his distraction level might be a lot less noticeable than what yours might be. Now, distracted, I turn and head the other way. Stop. As soon as he becomes distracted, I turn and head the other direction. You can see I've got some really good attention here, and I might have to stop and wait for him to get distracted. I like to pick up my pace. The better and better they get at this, I'm going to use this as a distraction. So this is the sneak way. Again, he turns and looks in another direction, or actually walks out in another way. I head the direction his tail is pointing. front of me or behind me, as long as he is in this area around me and not pulling. The second I feel tension on this lead, I'm going to turn and head the opposite direction. That's called the sneak away. Another thing that you can do to prevent pulling is simply stop. As you're walking your dog, that pulling, that being in front, is actually a reward. They want to go and they want to be first. They want to be the, blaze the trail, be first. And sometimes the pulling just doesn't bother them very much, but it's really wearing on humans. So if your dog is pulling and you don't have the space to do a sneak away, or you just don't feel like you can turn and do that, you can also simply stop and wait. Stopping is a negative. As soon as you stop, even if he continues to pull on lead and that leash is tight, eventually the dog is going to come and walk over to you where the leash is slack. As soon as the leash is slack, you can proceed and go forward with your dog. But the forward motion is your reward then. So stopping is your negative reinforcement, and going forward is your positive. So as you're walking, starts to pull, you're feeling tension on this lead, you're starting to grab a hold a little bit tighter, you're going to just stop and freeze. Sometimes it takes a while, but they'll wander back up over to you to lessen the tension on the lead, and as soon as they do that, you can go forward. That will oftentimes help pulling. One of the things that you just don't want to do is you don't want to just keep on going. And every time you go out for your walk or put your dog on lead and allow him to pull, it develops a habit, and you don't want to do that. So 2 things you can do to stop pulling on leash: sneak away, or simply stop and wait for them to come back up to you. So we're going to talk about heeling at our sides. So heeling at your side is a rather formal command. It is kind of exact. It means stay in a certain position right at my side, pay attention 100% of the time, and be right there with me. So heeling at your side, when you're beginning to teach heeling, you're going to start and you're not going to go out for a half-hour, 45-minute walk and require them to be heeling at your side 100% of the time. Maybe you're going to heel for 30 seconds at the very beginning and then break them loose with that touch and you're okay. And let them wander around again, pull them back in, command them to heel, start again. Maybe it's, 35 seconds, maybe a minute, as you start to increase their attention and their ability to be right in position. When you release your dog from a heel, the rule still applies. They cannot pull you on lead. So always now, from now on, when you take your dog out for a walk, there is no more pulling on leash. If they pull on lead, you simply stop, or you turn and head the other direction if that's possible. I'm going to teach you the heel command right now, and you can start working on that. So I'm going to try to flip this camera around here. Oop. Let's see. Okay, heel on leash. I hope you can see that. So I'm going to start first. My dog is on my 6-foot lead. Thumb through the loop of the leash, gather up the slack, and I'm going to put him in position at my side, either by guiding him or calling him over here. Leo, come here. position. I want to stand confidently at his side. His shoulder is at my leg, and he is in position. Now he needs to stay in this position regardless of where I am. So if I'm moving and I command him to heel, he needs to stay shoulder to leg. If I slow down to a stop, he needs to stay in position. And regardless of my change of pace or what I'm doing, he is heeling perfectly right now, and I'm not even moving. So when you go to teach the heel, thumb through the loop of the leash, gather up the slack, they're sitting comfortably at your side. You're going to say the dog's name, the word heel, and you're going to step out on the foot closest to the dog, your left foot. As I step forward on that left foot, I'm going to be cueing the dog to step forward as well. My leg may even hit into the leash a little bit, guiding him forward. Now if he takes off and heads starts to pull, I'm simply going to turn around and head the other direction. If I can't do that, I'm going to stop and wait for him to come back to me, offering no reward until he's back in position and I can begin again. So it's going to look like this. Leo, heel. Stepping out on that left foot. If he's lagging behind, I can jump into the leash a little bit and go. If I slow down, he needs to slow down. If I speed up, he needs to speed up. And if I stop, Leo, heel, he needs to sit at my side again. Okay, so it's kind of what heeling looks like. You can teach it in a lot of different ways. Again, as you're going, your dog will never pull you on leash ever again. Leo, sit. Leo, heel. Walking forward into that lead. If he lags behind, he'll take a few quick steps. If he's pulling ahead, simply sneak away. You're going to teach him to be right in position. You can also use food to teach the heel. And I've got some treats right here. I'll show you how to lure or guide him into position by using food. Treats in the hand closest to the dog. I get my leash set up here. I have a treat right here, and I can guide him into position by luring his nose where I need it to be. Leo, heel. I've got my leash tangled. What a good boy. Get it up. Good. So he's right at my side. Leo, back. There you go. Heel, in position. And I dropped it. Leo, here. Oh, got it. Heel. Again, step out on my foot closest to the dog. You can see my hand is right here. It is right where his attention needs to be. As I walk, I can reward. If I need to speed him up, I can lure with my hand and encourage. Leo, heel. Good. And he's right at my side. So I'm offering a food reward to keep him in position each and every time. Now I'm not always going to take my walks with food in my hand. So eventually you wean them off of using this food as a reward. I'll require him or I'll ask him to heel at my side without a food reward, and every now and then, if he's doing the right thing, that reward is going to come his way, and he'll be rewarded more intermittently. So, Leo, you ready? You don't have to have a lot of space to heel. You can do a lot of heeling in a tight area if you're working on position. So it might look like this. Leo, heel. Good. Leo, heel. Good. Leo, heel. Get it back. He's got to find the right spot. There it is, to get that reward. Leo, heel. Good boy. And you can see how he kind of maneuvers himself into position.